Good morning. Welcome to Studio 5 going live, day 9 of the Studio 5 online summer exhibition. The reason I'm doing this is because I had planned for an exhibition this year. Unfortunately, obviously, due to the worldwide situation, that had to be cancelled. So I'm doing it online. So instead of you coming to me, I come to you via the internet. Isn't it a wonderful thing? Anyway, today we're going to be looking at a recently completed commission. We had a glimpse of it a couple of days ago, and it's Charlie Chaplin. And at the moment, we're looking at the box. For me, the box is the opening curtain to the theatre of the book. And boxes can be not only just for protection, but also to give an idea of what's on the inside. It sort of whets the appetite as such. Also, you'll notice with this particular box that there isn't a label or title on the spine. I usually, with work of this nature, don't actually put any titling on the spine or anything, because with this particular collector, they know exactly where each and every book is in their library. And we can see that the design traverses the front part of the box, over the spine and onto the backboard as well. So it gives, again, this 360-degree sort of view to it. The box can be, interesting. Why not? Anyway, with roll, we're going to be looking at Charlie Chaplin, Icon 2. This forms part of a 6-book commission, working mainly with icons of the 20th century. It's a drumleaf binding, and I'm going to have to move the old tripod and everything back because we want to get it in shot, and that's a bit better. Well done, Mark. And basically what we're looking at is we're looking at the back. This is a flat back case binding, sorry, not a case binding, but it's a flat back binding, edged in leather with recessed panels of book cloths, bits of leather from an old shoe and all sorts of things. And this basically, the inspiration for this particular binding is not only the text, because I printed the text as well, but it comes from looking at old film posters from Charlie Chaplin's wonderful, wonderful films. He was a great perfectionist, and he did a lot of things in his life. He composed, wrote, directed, produced. And of course, he is one of the great 3 who started United Artists, because he wasn't terribly happy with the way that the film studios then in North America were sort of, using the talent, as it were. So we're looking at the binding, and we can see that we've got elements of Chaplin on the front board just here. Again, it's a torn sort of aperture in the cloth. And again, we've got this over sort of worked sewing, because, his clothes were patched. He was the tramp, this iconic sort of figure of being sort of, this demonic figure all over the place. And it really is something else. The tension has been altered in the sewing machine to give me this rather, sort of unkempt look to the sewing, and that is very intentional, where the sewing actually forms marks and lines within the structure. It was a great book to work with, actually, because producing a complete book, total book, an artist book, if you like, it does give me the opportunity to really explore the totality of the book. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have a look at this. So I'm just going to try and spin this around a little bit. The measurements for this, by the way, are, and if I can remember big tone, are by 23.7 centimeters by about 1.4 centimeters width. That, of course, is when the book's closed. But we can see that the end papers, and the end papers are the pages that come at the front and the back of the book, form part of the dialogue. And I really wanted it to reflect aspects and journeys through his life. So we start with a very brief breakdown of his life. And I wanted it to look very much like one of the opening sort of text boxes in one of his films. All of this is hand printed. using an offset technique, and the construction for the text block pages is a drum leaf, very versatile. And it's also gives me great scope to actually, again, as we know, I quite like texture on my pages, to really get depth and form to it. And the final spread is, of course, Chaplin and his four wives. Numerous other dalliances, and why not, of course. His life was extraordinarily interesting, and there's a lot of information on the internet and various books and publications about his life. He was one of the great icons of the 20th century in film, and is still now, you know, his films are still very, very popular. One of the nice things about silent movies is, of course, they work in any language, because it's the acting that that creates the narrative. And so with a lot of my print work in this particular book, it is just images. There is very, very little text involved. Anyway, that's this commission. And again, it's a very, very nice big book. Of the book, it's not a case binding. A lot of people, sorry about the blips. The construction is not a case binding. The textbook is laminated into the actual construction of the book, so it is very, very strong. Anyway, that is Charlie Chaplin, Icon 2, one of a series of 6 books that I'm currently working on. Finished literally a couple of days ago. Anyway, thank you all very, very much indeed. And once again, if you're interested in any of the work, or indeed would like any information, just ping me, and see you tomorrow. Thanks very much indeed. Always use protection, and of course, have a great day. And this was Studio 5, and we were live. Bye-bye.